The Vanir. There are three Vanir adopted into Valhall, Njord, Frey, and Heimdall, as well as one of elven descent, Ul. Njord, the brother of Odin's wife Frigg. He is the god of seaways, navigation, fishing, commerce, and riches, and therefore is actively worshipped. With his sister he fathered the god Frey and 9 daughters, among whom is the wondrously beautiful Freya. The other 8 are Freya's Dises. Among them are Air, the goddess of healing, as well as Bjort, the shining, Bleed, the gentle, and Frid, the fair, whose names indicate their charm. Like all the Vanir, Njord is friendly and beneficent. Sent during the age of innocence as a hostage from the Vanir to Odin, he will return at the end of this world age to the wise Vanir, where he still has a home in Nuatan, the shipyard. He later married Skadi, Dis of Skirs and daughter of the giant Thiassi. Thiassi is identical to the primeval artist Volund, the son of Ivaldi, who as a result of the cruel and irreconcilable hatred he harbored for the gods, was transformed by his nature into a destructive giant being. Frey, the humane lord of the harvest. His birth was joyfully hailed by all races except the giants, and the gods presented him with Alfheim as a tooth gift. Thus he became sovereign over the elves, among whom Ivaldi's 3 sons were the most noteworthy. And since it was customary for a king's son to be sent as a foster child to his father's tributary princes and sworn men, Frey was sent to be fostered by the sons of Ivaldi, the budding harvest god by the artisans of nature, who had forged the universally beneficial treasures of the gods and the vegetation that adorns creation. How Volund failed in his obligation to foster his son shall be told later, as will how Frey proposed to Giant's daughter Gerd. Regarding Frey's character, it is enough to repeat Tyr's testament regarding him, as recorded in one of the old poems. Frey is, after Baldur's death, the best of Asgard's brave riders. He causes no maid and no man's wife to weep for his love, and will free anyone from bonds and fetters. Heimdall, the god of the holy fire. His birth and life among mankind have already been recounted. Once Heimdall had completed his important duty in Midgard, and was accepted into Asgard, Odin entrusted the safety of the Bifrost Bridge to him, because the northern bridgehead, which lies outside of Niflhel in the vicinity of the frost giants, is the one most threatened by the enemies of the gods. A sturdy fortress, named Himinborg, Heaven's Defense, was built there. It also serves as Heimdall's home. Eternal night broods over that region, and there the wild winter storms have their haunt and their haven. On one occasion, Loki ridiculed Heimdall because he lives in a land where he is exposed to such unfavorable weather. But Heimdall's hall is well built for its keeper's comfort, and in this pleasant hall Heimdall happily drinks the good mead. The gods take delight in their faithful watchman whenever they see him, shining with the whitest brilliance, riding on his horse, Gultup, in the pitch-black darkness of the remote north. Heimdall requires less sleep than a bird. He sees equally well by night as by day, 100 leagues in every direction, and his hearing is so acute that he can hear the grass growing on the earth. He harbors constant animosity towards Loki, and through his sharp senses and unending vigilance, Heimdall has frustrated Loki's cunning plans more than once. Ul. Before Sif, the golden-haired Dis, became Thor's wife, she had been married to Ivaldi's son Egil, the great archer and skier, and with him born the son Ul, who became a master of his father's sports, and therefore was called God of the Bow, God of the Hunt, and God of Skis. When Sif married Thor, Ul was admitted to Asgard along with her and received divine rank. Ul's skis are a work of art from the forge of Ivaldi's sons. Like his father's skis, they can be used on water as well as on land, and they can also be used as a shield. Ul is handsome, slender, and lithe, and above all, a distinguished warrior. Additionally, he has the qualities of a leader and a ruler. For that reason, the Vanir placed Ul on Odin's throne, granting him Odin's name and rights as governor when a war arose between the Aesir and the Vanir during the Age of Discord, and the Vanir rule the Asgard alone. As has already been told, two beings of giant descent were accepted into Asgard during the Age of Innocence. Their names are Loki and Golveg. Loki and his brothers Helblindi and Belist are the sons of the hurricane and the thunder giant Farbauti, harmful striker. The downpour and the violent rains of the hurricane, which espoused the sea through the swelling flood, gave rise to Helblindi, who married Ran, the giantess of the ocean's depths. The hurricane's whirlwind gave rise to Bylist, the eastern storm. A lightning bolt from the hurricane brought Loki into the world. His mother is Laufey, Leaf Island, i.e., treetop struck by lightning during a windstorm. The violence of Farbauti's character did not outwardly manifest itself in Loki as long as he went around unrestrained in Asgard. It first surfaced when Loki was bound with fetters in an underground torture chamber. From there, he causes earthquakes. In underhanded ways, Loki secretly prepared the coming conflagration of the world. He was attractive in appearance and ingratiating in manner. He was an excellent judge of others' character, and when he discerned weakness, he knew exactly how to exploit it. When laying his plans, he thought far ahead and knew how to contrive them so that even the worst seemed like the most advantageous and the best. Wit, viciousness, and endless spite were united in his nature. Golveg is like Loki, indeed even worse, and in essence more dangerous. The two work in harmony together for the ruin of the gods and the world. Golveg, first brought forth by the giant Hrimnir, was born into the world 3 times by different giant parents, and burnt 3 times by the gods. In spite of this, she still lives. She is 1 and 3 at the same time, and it is her that Völuspá, the poem prophesying Ragnarok, refers when it speaks of the 3 frightful giantesses who come from Jotunheim, causing the end of the peaceful Golden Age. Among the goddesses who dwell in Asgard, Frigg, Sif, Nanna, Idun, Skadi, Gerd, Freya, and Eir have already been mentioned. Of Frigg it may be said that although she is a good wife and a loving mother, she often exercises her own will, and chooses favorites among the children of men, other than those favored by Odin. She willingly intervenes in her husband's affairs regarding the fate of peoples and nations, and it has happened that when a people whose opponents are favored by Odin turn their prayers to Frigg, she knows how to arrange it so that Odin himself is compelled to grant her favorites victory. Odin has praised her for her foresight and her silent wisdom. Frigg has a sister, Fula, who is her confidant and keeps jewelry. Fula is also a close friend of Nanna, Baldur's wife. Since Fula is the queen of heaven's sister, she wears a diadem as a sign of her dignity.